And Christala.
Yeah,
I can't believe we're reunited again.
I know.
Oh
my God.
So sweet. Our second date.
Right. But actually, I think anybody that's actually probably even followed us has actually seen the progress or actually seen some images of us anyway.
Together
of what we've been doing. So it kind of feels like a girls' night.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, just to let you know how serious this show is, it's in conjunction with Alopecia Awareness Month, which is this month, September. So that's why we're talking about hair loss, and we're gonna have a discussion about our stories, like I said, and we're all at different stages of our journey, so to say, our success journeys. So that's why we're here. Alopecia Awareness Month. Google it, and you can find out all about what's going on around the world in cause of alopecia. So ladies, let's let our audience know what alopecia is to start off with. Christala, in your own words, what's alopecia?
So alopecia is an autoimmune disease. It's where your immune system attacks the hair follicles and causes them to fall out. So for me, I have alopecia areata, which causes my hair to fall out in like patches. Some people have alopecia universalis, which is total bodily hair loss, where they have they may have full head loss and no eyelashes, no eyebrows, no armpit hair. But for me personally, I have alopecia areata, which means I can grow my hair in slight patches, but I choose to keep it all bald.
And Chanchan, what type of alopecia did you suffer from?
Right, so all of that sexy stuff that Lara said. So all of that stuff that she said, I'm glad you went to her first. Mine is more self-inflicted. So everything that she said, however, I am the cause of my own alopecia. So it is tractional alopecia. It's actually wearing the hair too tight. It's pulling the hair too tight. It's manipulating the hair in many various ways, far too often. And it's just trying to be cute too many times. In too many weeks.
Make it sound so sexy.
No, it's really not.
I just lost my hair because I was pulling my hair too tight.
Too cute. Oh no, I don't like this hairstyle. I'll try another one. Oh, you know what? I think my hair needs to be permed. Oh, I'll do that one. Oh, I think I need it to be braided. I'll do that one. So I think for different people, it's different things. And I think for me, I'm very aware that it's self-inflicted. I'm very aware that it can be continuous. And I think if you're somebody that is somebody that likes trends, that follows fashion, it's very difficult, and that's black or white to kind of stay away from what is tractional alopecia. I think a lot of people can actually get that.
Which is more self-inflicted.
But what I'm saying, but my tractional alopecia is a little bit different because it became permanent, because you could do it for a couple of years
and then you're
like, okay girl, stop now.
She's making it seem sexy, but it's very serious.
I'm like, yeah, okay, I did it for a year, okay, it bald and then it goes back. But then if you're continuously doing it, and I think that's where I went a little bit wrong.
And we're gonna talk about your hair transplant and your journey, because you've got hair on your head right now, so I mean, people are watching and they're probably thinking, what is she talking about? But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there, definitely. So lady Chanchan, you're a mother.
I am.
Of twin boys,
I am.
which I can't believe, because look at you.
Yeah, you know what, and you know what, that is in itself is so amazing. I have twin boys. They should be watching right now. They're watching right now, and they're twins. Yeah. But they are so different. They go to separate schools. Wow. They are very individual, and I actually think that they were the making of me. But when I think about my twins, I think about my hair journey and how it started.
Because you started losing your hair after you gave birth, didn't you?
And I don't know, I know many women that have, they've fallen pregnant, and then after you have pregnancy, then you have this kind of postpartum hair loss. And that was actually something that happened to me, because I had a really thick, full of hair before I had the twins, and then afterwards, and I don't know if it was stress, I don't know if it's because I had boys, and then I had a lot of testosterone, and then once you give birth, then you don't have this testosterone anymore, and then so it's one of these things that, you know, it's something that I'm still constantly learning, and I think it's what was really amazing is actually reaching out with you guys and going to some of these events that I've gone to in the last couple of years. We kind of recognize what us as individuals go through, and some of these things are very similar. But in terms of speaking from my perspective,
and you also said bad hair habits, so the contribution of giving birth and bad
I definitely say that it was giving birth first, and that's when I noticed like the thinness of the hair, and then I think some of it is more about how you feel about yourself as an individual. So as a new mother, and as a new mother that was a single mother, what can I do that will make myself feel good? And so we're not talking about the weight. We're talking about so what's the things that are going to stay there? It's your hair, it's your face. So the only thing that you're able to change is your hair and your face. Those are the things that you're in control of. And so that was something that I could do with ease. Yes. So, you know, if I don't like myself this week, I can change myself like this. I can dye my hair. I can do this. I can do that.
And it was getting a bit too...
It was strong. It was strong enough. However, I think manipulating the hair over time, plaiting, and, you know, then you know, I started to lose. And then I think once you lose your hair, then you also have stress.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. So Christala, your story is very different because you started losing your hair at a young age, didn't you?
Yeah.
So can you tell us about how it started?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started noticing patches when I was about 9 years old. Okay. And from there it kind of got progressively worse. So the patches started out, you know, roughly a coin-sized patch, and then they would drop out, and then they would, you know, regrow, and then they would fall out in other areas. So it was just a constant battle of trying to hide my patches, and you know, seeing where the patch was today, and like where was, you know, oh, I didn't see that one. Where's this one today? Like it was stressful. It was so stressful. But yeah, and then obviously you've got to deal with, you know, going to school, and you've got to deal with bullies and people that have no idea what you're dealing with on a daily basis, you know. So that was tough. That was really,
so
really
how
tough.
was it like in secondary school? Like, I mean, because we had that discussion, didn't we?
Yeah.
Like how your journey of going through secondary school and hiding the hair loss. And
so secondary school was hard because you have to wake up in the morning, look at yourself, and then decide how you're going to deal with hiding your patches, and then still on top of that build up enough courage to go to school. And it was,
which I can totally
it was
resonate
insane. Like I just, some days it would be so tough, like my self-esteem would be so broken that I just would be like, do you know what, it's not happening today. And I would skip school a lot, you know. So how I got GCSEs is beyond me. Do you know what I mean? Because I was that constant battle every day. Every morning I'd be like, okay, I can do this, and then I'd, you know, battle with doing my hair and trying to hide it from my other peers, you know, so that I wasn't teased relentlessly. That was really hard. And then, you know, it was just a case of like, do I go to school today or do I just, you know, stay home where I'm safe and I'm comfortable? So yeah, teenage life was not a breeze at all.
And you said it really messed with your mental health.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I never really understood that the two were connected. Yeah. I think at that age you don't really get that you're feeling so low because of the situation that you're being dealt with. And you're not really, at that time there wasn't, you know, Instagram. Not that I'm old or nothing, but you know,
but there wasn't
huge amounts of social media.
There wasn't huge, but could you imagine if
it would have been 10 times worse? Oh my God. It would have been 10 times worse. So I didn't have that support system of the alopecia community
online,
seeing women who were going through things that I was going through at that age, to understand that this is kind of normal and that this isn't something that you have to go through alone.
Well, hold on, it's kind of normal. It actually is normal.
It's totally normal. But at that time, when I was, 13, 14, it was not. It wasn't a thing that I could just be like.
And being a black girl as well. Losing your hair in secondary school is not cool, is it?
And this is the thing, you have
your hair's your glory.
Shan
so you're trying to use your hair
trends. Shan spoke about trends, and trends were all the thing in high school. Like, you literally were like,
do you remember the butterfly clips? Do you remember the braids?
It's weave, it's this, it's that. And I can't do that because I'm still trying to battle with hiding everything.
And you were hiding your hair, Lo.
I was
so no one in school knew that you was losing your hair?
Nobody knew. Not a single person. I never shared it with anyone. It was crazy.
You know what? I forgot. I'm so bad. I forgot to tell everybody what you guys do. I just ran into it. So Christala Fletcher is the owner of Lace by Lala, which is a wig company. We're going to talk about that. Not your normal wig company. And she's also an alopecia advocate. And Shan is the co-founder of Noor, which is a fashion brand, and she's also on a Netflix series called The Big Flower Fight.
Yes, girl.
So you can see we have a reality star in the room, and that's not the only reality show you've been on, is it?
No, it's not actually. Yeah,
but we'll talk about that later. So back to you, Shan. Did you suffer any mental health?
Oh my God, I'm still suffering from it. Oh my God.
Mental health issues.
We can talk about mental health issues. However, I think it doesn't just stem from my hair journey. It doesn't. I think as a black woman in this society, and as a black woman that just has this type of hair or this type of afro hair, and I know today I'm wearing clips, and that's actually one of the transitions that I've decided to do instead of wigs and instead of weaves is clips, because it's not as strenuous on my hair as it used to be. But yeah, I wear clips. But having natural afro hair was never sexy. It was never appealing. And at the end of the day, I'm like any other woman. And, if I see that, my male counter or my other female counterparts, what they're looking for and what my male counterparts are looking for is, girls that have long flowing hair, and it doesn't look like it doesn't look like me, and there was nothing that looked like me. So I actually had to grow and grow into myself and understand myself, to understand, well, this is me, this is what I like,
which is
but
the journey.
That took me until I was like in my 30s to understand that. So when I was in my teens and I just wanted to have blonde hair.
Oh gosh!
And the thing is, it didn't even.
Was you relaxing? Was you one of those ladies that was relaxing and dyeing your hair on the same day?
Okay, so no, I didn't relax and dye on the same day. But I definitely was somebody that wanted to relax. Put the tracks in, do the gel, maybe not do a full dye, but what I would do is do a rinse on it. So I was active. I was very active in terms of what I used to do to the hair, and I think it's just the manipulation of it. And you know what? To be fair, my hair really coped very well for many years. So
but
when it said no, it said no.
So at what point did you start really losing your hair? Because you said after your sons.
So after the boys were born, so the boys were born in 2018. No, 2000, no, they was not. That's a lie. 2008. I think I still kind of kept up, and then I think there was many bad hair choices. There was probably a lot of toxic relationships that I've also been in as well. And this is not even like man-woman relationships. I'm talking about friendships as well. I think you need to be very careful of you know, women and like people that you want to kind of express and tell your story to.
Yeah.
And I think I went through a lot of that and thinking that, oh, you understand my journey. Oh, your edges are a little gone, but the edges are gone, but they just put a little grease in it and the edges are back. Like it's not the same.
She's a vibe, isn't it?
It's not the same.
She's a vibe.
So in terms of that, it's like kind of understanding what journey you're going through, but then also being sympathetic to somebody else that is going on a similar journey to you.
Because when I met you, you was bored, and you had.
I was absolutely bored.
You was bored, and you had a transplant, and you've had 3 of them. So
I have had 3.
We have to talk about these transplants. It's not a joke. Like, it's serious.
Okay, so
let's talk about your first one.
So my first hair transplant.
When did you have it?
So we're talking about about 7 years ago.
Okay.
And I had a FUT. So at that time, FUT is follicle unit transplant, which is basically where they cut the back of your scalp. They cut a strip of it, and then they take the follicles out, and then they re-implant it where it needs to be re-implanted.
Okay.
I did that in America. Okay. And because it wasn't pioneering at the time, but it wasn't as known. Like the FUE, which is a follicle unit extraction, which is where they take it out and it's not so invasive. That was many more thousands of dollars, and actually at that time,
and that was in the States as well. So
no. So in America, I had the follicle unit transplant where they cut a strip of my scalp, and then they took the hair out and then they implanted it. And
where, to the front?
I only had tractional alopecia, so it was always at the sides.
Okay.
So if you ever remember doing the weaves, and you do the weaves closest. You like there was, you know how now everybody wants to protect their edges.
Yeah.
Back in the day, nobody protected their edges. That was tight up and sewn up. And then when it was tight and sewn up, it was like, oh my God, my hair.
The feeling, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, it didn't feel like it was done until it was tight.
Yeah.
You know? So I did that, and that cost me in excess of 10 grand. That's what that was in America 7 years ago. And then after having, after kind of, the hair grew back and it was amazing.
So it grew back?
Oh my God, after I had that transplant, the hair grew back. It was so amazing. I forgot myself. I started doing the same things I did. And that's the thing. I can be honest with myself. Yeah. And
that's why I wanted you here. Because
oh my God.
3 hair transplants.
I know, I'm out of order and rude. But
very.
No. But what I am gonna say to many people that are from Afro-Caribbean descent, that if you ever have to have a hair transplant, usually our hair type, we usually go for 2. Usually women or men, we usually go for 2.
To have 2 to have
it's for really the density. It's really the density. And so the first one, it was beautiful. And I'm definitely going to say the first one was enough where I probably didn't have to go for another one.
So why did you go for another one?
Well, we'll get to there. So it was nice. It was cute. I liked it. And then I'm like, okay, I can kind of still do the weave. I can still do this, still do that. And not that I was young at the time, but maybe I didn't appreciate that this hair is gone. This hair is now back. Let me go and manipulate the hair and do all of the things that I want to do again. And I kind of fell in the same trap.
And then it started.
And not that, and it wasn't as severe. I'm definitely say it wasn't as severe. But I definitely fell into the same trap where, you know what? Let me manipulate my hair. My hair's growing. It's coming. And the thing is, it was growing. And then it was like, oh,
it started
growing. it's not growing no more.
Oh,
It's not growing no more. And
Okay.
then it got to that. And then I started researching again, and then I realised about the follicle unit extraction. So I said, okay, it's less invasive, because at this time I have a big scar in the back of my head where they literally cut my scalp. And another thing that was really upsetting, and I don't know if you find this, Lala, sorry, I call you Lala. I don't know if you find this upsetting, is that when I have my hair bald, everybody thinks that I have a problem or I have cancer.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't want to be like cussing anybody, but like, even if that is the case, is that how you come up to people?
You don't just pop up to someone while they're in Tesco's and be like, can I
that
say,
is
like,
the
So
case.
did it make you feel uncomfortable?
It made me feel really uncomfortable, but I tell you what, it did make me feel. It made me feel very secure with having my bald head.
Because you look beautiful with it.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I had to work with it because that was what I was
At the time.
Yeah, that's what it was. And that's the thing about having a bald head. Your face needs to be beat, so I learned how to do makeup, your eyelashes and things like that. And it's actually being comfortable in your own skin. And I actually think what the funniest thing actually about being bald is that I was the most comfortable being bald, but everybody else around me was uncomfortable.
So can we show some pictures of Shan
my
after a transplant? Like, so people can see how
this is
gruesome.
the FUE.
So is this the last one?
This is the last one. This is the FUE.
This is the last. So let's jump to the last one.
Yeah. This is
why
the
did
FUE.
Why did you go for the third round?
So the third round is because I was just lacking density. Okay, so hold on. This is the. Okay, so if you can see this.
Yeah, that's the scar.
Yeah,
from the
that's
previous.
Yeah, that's the FUT. This is where they literally cut the strip off, take the strip, and then implant it. Yeah.
It's so uncomfortable.
It looks uncomfortable, but you know what?
And
shall I tell you what was so funny? A day after, I made sure I braided all of that, and put weave on it. I had a weave. I did. I just made sure that was open, and I had a big weave. I actually should have given you the photo.
Wow.
Yeah, because I just didn't want to be.
And what was the recovery like? Because I've seen your journey on video, and it's not.
The FUE.
The last one.
Yeah, it was quite painful.
Yeah, and the swelling.
Oh yeah. Because everything's in your head.
Yes.
And then everything starts to go down, and when it goes down, then you have the black eyes and everything. I think at the time where I was healing, I was in a really toxic situation, and so I wasn't even healing the way I should have been healing.
And where did you have the last one?
I had the last two in Turkey.
In Turkey.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, they are absolutely fantastic. They do very well for like black hair, afro hair. You have to obviously find the right surgeons that deal with you. But they're absolutely fantastic. And to be fair, if I could go again.
No, stop.
We're gonna talk to Christala. So have you ever thought of having a hair transplant, or has it ever crossed your mind to have any kind of treatment to retrieve your hair back?
Not a chance. I'm so petrified. I'm so scared of any kinds of surgery that I could no, it wasn't gonna happen. And you know what? It was never. It didn't even dawn on me that this was a thing that I could have ever done. So for me, it didn't even come up in conversation. It was always.
Do you think because you've grown with it from childhood?
I feel like that might be the difference.
Yeah.
Because I've grown up with having these patches, so it's kind of become my normal, and then. It was almost like, I thought, in a way, I don't know if I knew that then, but now, like growing up, I kind of thought, one day, either I'll learn to love it, or it will all come back.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea what the future held for me. So, and now I'm just like, if I was to ever think about doing a transplant or anything like that, it would be absolutely not, because I just can't.
And this is the difference about alopecia and hair loss, and you know why I wanted the both of you on the show, because you're coming from different aspects
and how it affects everybody
and how
as well. Because I'm like, oh, listen, if you could do it, do it.
Yes.
If you need to have like some hair on your knuckles, get it done. I am serious. Yeah.
Whereas with you, it's and this is what led you to making wigs at a young age. So can you tell us about when you first started?
So I started making wigs for myself because I have a really, really small head. So growing up...
20 inch?
I'm a 20-incher.
You know what? We haven't even spoken about that.
I am. It's the worst. Right. General wigs.
I hate you.
General wigs you buy in the shop are going to be kind of like your 22 inches. They're like medium-sized caps, which do not fit all. And
I think your mic...
Oh, no.
No, don't touch it. Just don't touch it. Something's come off.
Where did it go? Oh, there it is. I got it.
She's got it. So,
This isn't cute, but okay.
This is live TV, guys. This is what happens.
It happened.
Yeah.
Good. Are we good?
That's it. That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, what was I saying? So
when you started making
so then I decided that from like 16 I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make wigs myself, because I know that this is possible and I know people do it, and I'm so sick of like having this gaping back in the back of my wig, and it's really frustrating because I don't feel secure. So I started making wigs myself, just, you know, your little quick wigs, piecing bundles and frontals together, boom, it's a wig, right? And then, you know, a friend of mine was like, hey, could you make me a wig? And I was like, yeah, okay, like it weren't difficult, like I'll do it for you. And then another person asked me to make them a wig, and then another one, and I was like, hold on a second, there's a business here, this is a hustle. So it became like I did wigs on the weekends, like just, you know, like I was 16-year-old trying to make a little pocket change.
And this is a long time ago.
This is a long time ago.
This is before the hype of lace wigs and
this
wigs
is
now.
Before wigs, lace fronts were even a thing. This is before wigs were popular. You know, this is before we even kind of started to dig into that celebrities could change their hairstyle so frequently because they're wearing wigs. And then as I got older, you know, I was still doing my little side hustle, and then I realized that there's actually a whole, you know, market for this, and there's, you know, women that could do with my help, because the wig world is really scary. It's really, when you've just lost your hair, it's a really scary world that you don't know, it's unfamiliar, and why not be that person that can show them exactly what's going on, what's a lace front, what's a full lace wig, what's a closure, do you know what I mean? Just to kind of educate women, because it was so confusing for me, and I just felt so lost as like a, you know, 12-year-old not knowing what the hell to put on her head. So yeah, I started kind of like trying to educate young girls and stuff, and then that's how Lace by Lala was born. I decided to go to school and study TV and film wig making, and I studied under a director of the Royal Opera House, and she taught me everything I know. Like, she's wonderful. You know, everything from, you know, making wigs from scratch, you know, to learning how to ventilate, and, you know, making moustaches, eyebrows, you know, even down their hair, you know, like, everything. It was really, really cool. It was really cool.
That's really cool.
So now I'm able to do this, you know, and get commissions.
And you used to make a lot of money because you're making wigs for theatre and film. So how much were you like making for these wigs?
I mean, if you were to ask me for like a personal wear wig, you can,
and how long did they take as well?
So like commissions can be anything, because the description of what they want can be so vast. But for personal wigs, for like your general hair loss sufferer, it can take me anywhere from 3 to 6 to 8 weeks sometimes,
because you're making them strands.
Exactly. I'm ventilating, which we call ventilating. I'm knotting every single hair onto a cap that I have made also. And, you know, every client's different. Some people want to wear their hair in a ponytail, some people want to wear it back, some people want it all off the face, some people want it all on the face. There's so much, like, it's so different. Every client's different, so it's a lot. It can take a long time.
And how long was you do? Well, you do that now, but I mean, how long was you working with the lady from the Royal Opera House? And
I was with her for 8 months.
Okay, before you went to study.
Yeah, no. So I studied with her in Eastbourne.
Okay.
For 8 months, and it was amazing. Like the best money I've ever spent. Yeah.
Amazing. So going back to bad hair choices, you know, we as black women have made a lot of bad hair choices in the past. So what are some of the bad hair choices that you made in particular that contributed? Because yours was, I mean, yours wasn't self-inflicted. We haven't even spoken about when you really lost your hair because you fell ill. So can you tell us about that quickly? Before
Yeah, absolutely. So very quickly, I was 17 and I got really sick and ended up in hospital with a blood infection. And I, at that point, because of, you know, I think it was the stress of it and maybe plus the medication, I lost basically like all of my hair. I was left with a tiny amount of hair on the top of my head, like literally tiny, but I held on to it for years because it was the last hope I had of getting my hair back, you know. And then in my like early 20s, I was just like, you know what, this isn't. It's
and what was
happening.
With the little bit of hair you had, what was you doing to, you know, finally to the point where you just shaved it bald? Some of the bad hair choices.
Well,
like what
for
kind
me,
of things were you?
I had never really made any bad hair choices. For me, it was nothing that I could control. Also, alopecia areata in particular, it is an immune disorder.
Yes.
So there isn't anything that you can do to prevent it. There isn't anything you can do to make it better. It's not something that you can personally control at all.
And that's why I wanted you to explain.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things, like you can either, like, there's no supplement, there's no pill, there's no lotion that can ever make it better. That at the moment there's no cure, right? So it's just one of those things. I had to either learn to love it or continue to wear wigs for the rest of my life and hide it. So those were my two options. You know.
So Shan's already told us about her.
Yeah, but that was absolutely bad hair choices.
Yeah,
and it was just actually manipulating the hair far too many times in a short space of time. In a short space of time. That's what it is, and that's because I'm somebody that does trends. My master's degree was all about fashion. So you know, it's one of those things.
And what are some of the stigmas that both of you have heard, like with black ladies that don't have hair? I mean,
oh my god, you look butch. You're a gay woman. You're not
because there are. It's like as soon as you cut your hair, people just assume you're bisexual
or you're ill.
You
know, it's all of that, and not that there's anything wrong with those type of things, but
that
wrong
is
with it. The stigma.
They are stigmas,
that comes with it. So why can't I just be like a cute girl with no hair?
Do you know, I also find that I get kind of lumped in, and not that there's a bad thing, but it's quite infuriating to feel that I'm not met with the same empathy or compassion that another alopecian would of a different race. I'm met with, oh, it must be your fault. You must have done something. You must have pulled your hair too tight. It must be something that you did as a black woman that caused your hair to fall out. Like, I'm like, come on, Sally.
And that's because tractional alopecia
is so common.
It's so common in black women.
Yeah, it's not always the case. And not that it's you know, downgrading your alopecia.
Oh no, downgrade it, girl. I do it to myself. Thank you.
But it's not the only form of alopecia that black women go through. And actually, Serena, who runs Lost Locks, she has written a blog post about traction alopecia and versus kind of, you know, other forms of alopecia that aren't self-inflicted. And it's just like, why are those conversations not being had? And honestly, you have to check out Lost Locks because she writes it beautifully. It's just like, we're not as, you know, understood, and it's not dealt with compassion
but in the same respect, I don't think that we have the education, and I think a lot of us
and that's exactly what
we don't have the education to know that if we keep manipulating our hair like this on a consecutive amount of times, that this is not going to grow back. Now, if I could speak to my younger self and have a real word with me, then I would understand.
Because now the awareness is there. I mean, social media.
I mean,
there's
we
a lot
know
of
that. And then another thing as well.
The younger girls now are not perming their hair and doing.
They're not.
They're all natural under that wig. They have loads.
They're taking care of their hair.
The thing is, there was such a stigma with wigs back in our day.
Exactly.
Right.
Come on, we didn't want to look like our grandmas, did we?
Right.
We wanted to have wigs. We wanted to be cute.
We wanted to look like SWV.
It was nothing to do with that. It was always about permanent, slicking it to the side.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know,
gelling it.
Having the jade hairstyle, the jam,
yes.
the ice gel.
Definitely.
Like we had all of those things. Of course, we had those things. Like, especially if I'm talking about somebody that was on trend.
Yes.
And we looked about those things, and we looked to America, and it was the slick hairstyle, or we had the afro, the ring combs, and all of those kind of things. And then we had the. So I remember even perming my hair and still using that. And still using a pressing comb, like,
jeez.
Do you understand what
Just
I'm saying? There was a lot that was going on. Did we? Not even my mother knew.
It's true.
Not even my mother knew. I remember even my mum like pressing my hair when I was like younger before I went to school, and she was like, "Yeah, let's get it straight." Like, so it wasn't. I don't think.
And our parents relaxing our hair at a young age.
Well, you know what? I didn't relax my hair until I was 13, and a lot of the things that I did was actually. And when I'm saying it was self-inflicted, I was a real big fan of brandy. So braids were one of my things. So it was like small braids.
Okay.
And it was like small braids, big braids. Keeping it in for far too long, not knowing how to pull them out, and not knowing how to take them out if they're in too long. There's so many things that contribute. As a lesson,
definitely,
you just don't know.
Definitely. So, guys, we've been talking to Christala Fletcher, who is the owner of Lace by Lala, and also Chanchan. I call her Chanchan, but she's called Chanel, and she's the co-founder of a fashion brand called I Noir, and I call her a reality TV star because she's currently on Netflix. On the big flower fight, and you was on a fashion reality TV show before.
Yeah, I was.
And what show was that?
In 2012, I was picked by Rihanna to be a part of one of her designers on a show called Style to Rock.
Okay.
That was aired in the UK, and basically, this was actually before I kind of did my academic fashion journey. Okay. This was at the start, and I think that was really where it led me to become the fashion designer that I am. That was an amazing experience, and it led me to kind of really look at fashion and look at other designers very intently, and it's one of the reasons why I still do fashion today and why I actually did a master's degree in the whole realm of fashion. But not only fashion, but in the idea of production and management. And that's why I did that. Yeah, it was amazing.
So back to you, Christina. You've been in the press, which we're going to share. Because you're an advocate. She's an alopecia awareness advocate, and she's been on a few. You know, she's been in a few magazines and newspapers, and the reason I brought it up is because he's going back. But I wanted to talk about trolling because you've been trolled a lot online.
Really?
Yeah, it's not nice. It's not nice, and it was.
And I just want people to know like what you've been through.
Yeah,
because you wear your hair like this because you choose to.
I go out bald.
Yeah, but you go out like this because you've accepted your alopecia.
Yes.
And you carry it beautifully. Look how beautiful she is. But she's been through her fair share of online bullying, and it's not fair.
It's not nice.
It's not nice.
So specifically, after the Guardian article I did at the beginning of the year was met with a lot of positivity. Like it was really lovely. And to be fair, I never ever got any kind of like backlash from it or any kind of nasty comments, directed towards me from that one, which is this shoot you're seeing now. But when I did the Sun article, I think
Sun readers are just vulgar.
That is exactly what everyone said to me.
Trash.
That's exactly what every single person said to me.
I'm gonna so reserve the right to comment.
Right, no comment. But from that article, I got a lot of trolling, and I was like, wow, this is horrific. Like, this is really nasty. Like, they were calling me a man, they were calling me I look like an egg, you know. It was just really, it was brutal. It was brutal, and it took me back to that place where I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm 15 again, and I'm being bullied by people who have no idea what I have been through. I would never even walk a day in my shoes, right? And it was nasty, and I had one night and I cried my heart out, and then after that I picked myself back up and I was like, cool, let's get on with the day. Do you know what I mean? But it was bad. It was really, really bad. But like, I have to say, obviously,
was there any racial abuse, or was it just about being
No,
bullied?
I never got any racial abuse, but not that I saw, because at one point I had to stop looking. I have to stop looking because it's bad.
Oops, sorry, our window's open.
But yeah, then after that, it was just so nasty. That I just stopped looking at some point, because I was just like, this doesn't serve me. This doesn't outweigh the amount of good that I'm doing.
And how far
it doesn't exactly. And I've come so far to the point that I can stand in front of someone's camera and take these pictures bald and be comfortable with enough of myself that I feel confident and pretty enough to do this, and it was nasty, just sick people who are cowards hiding behind a keyboard. So
and you've done some campaigns as well, haven't you?
Yeah,
you've done some campaigns. So tell us about this one.
Is so cute.
That was cute. That was cute. So this is.
I really love this. I really did.
This was like, what do these four women have in common? And obviously, the fact is that we all actually have alopecia.
Okay.
So then the next photo is us all bald in the same outfits. But yeah. Then
so
obviously.
And then this is you with
all my
I love
my
this
press.
picture.
So cute.
And you look amazing. You carry it so well.
You do.
Yeah, it's been, I've been very, very fortunate to kind of have these doors open for me. But it was a case of like, self-acceptance got there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once I shared publicly is when these opportunities came.
Yeah.
When I was hiding in my wigs, this stuff would have never happened.
Yeah.
So it goes to show what a little bit of self-acceptance and looking inward of how this is making you feel can, cause a whole ripple of effects and depression and anxiety. But the second you share your problem, it's halved.
Yeah.
It's half, but what I have noticed is that the trolls still come though. Because
did you experience any of that with sharing? Because you shared your hair transplant story online.
Whole hair, because that's where the whole idea of Chanchantalks was all about. The hair journey. It was, just so happens that the whole Netflix and everything came after it. However, it's really strange because I've never really had any trolls, but what I do have at the moment is more people that want to challenge me. And I don't know if they want to challenge me more because I have been on the show. Because I'm still Chanchantalks, but it feels like.
And what do they say? Like, because you were saying to me,
that hair transplant didn't work. Oh girl, it's thin. No shade though.
And do you get this from your own friends and or is it?
You know what it is? I think it's very uncomfortable because I always said that my Chanchantalks space was a space for safe. It was a safe space.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because I was looking for somewhere where I could go to see that if there was a black woman that ever did hair transplant or if they ever did anything similar to what I did, I can be there and I can ask questions and not to critique, but to ask questions. Generally ask questions. What did you do? How did it make you feel? Was that okay? Would you do it again? And especially as I have been, this is my third one. I don't need to tell anybody anything. I didn't have to tell anybody it was my third. I didn't tell anybody.
But you decided to share.
You know what? I am old enough and actually more comfortable in my skin that I can let you know that this is my journey, this is my story. And if you need help and if you need advice and if I'm able to give it to you, I will do. However, what I have found is that the more you share your story.
Yes. The more you're open to criticism.
Yeah.
Which you have to be
100%.
prepared.
Yeah.
Which you have to
And
be
the thing
prepared
is, I
for.
haven't had criticism because of any of the other stuff. It's more criticism because of the hair.
Yeah.
Which is so bizarre because even how the hair is right now, and it looks, it's all cool and it's cute. There were still aspects of my hair where I wish it was a little bit thicker. But in the grand scheme of things, what it looked like before to what it looks like now, it's absolutely beautiful.
And it's getting better, isn't it?
Oh, and it will continue to get better.
As long as you're not pulling on it.
Stop. Please stop. It's to get better. Yeah, but yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But then I think also it is about recognizing your habits and your bad habits.
And which you have come to terms with.
I've come to terms with that. I'm probably always going to have bad habits.
So let's go straight into dating. How has hair loss affected dating? Because with you, you're bald.
Yeah.
So how do you explain to guys about your condition and, how has it been?
Okay. Yeah. So it's
because there was one cute post one time, like
Stop
I was somebody's son. I remember that one. Somebody's son.
Oh my god. Okay, sorry. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's not even on her page anymore.
It's come down.
It's not there
It's down, and so
She's deleted it.
But yeah, so for me, I have a very strict rule when dating. If I'm ever to go on a date, I always go on that first date bald, always, without a doubt, because I need to see how you react in a public setting. I need to know that you're confident enough within yourself to accept that I'm comfortable within my own skin. I need you to see that, and I need to see it face to face. Most of the time, anyone I'm talking to or dating knows up front that I'm bald, knows that I have alopecia, because it's everywhere. It's all over my social media. It's all I talk about.
It's everywhere, like.
Okay, I'm gonna go to some comments because we have some comments from our viewers. So,
gosh,
this is an interactive show.
Oh my
it's a
God,
live show.
I forgot it was live. Okay.
You look thought you were in my bedroom. So.
I know.
Honestly,
It really
does feel like that,
does.
though.
It really does.
So,
Okay.
Jeanette O'Dame says, watching you live from Ireland. I welcome you in my first time watching you. Thank you for tuning in, Janet. Jennifer says, first time watching. Stephen Tufor said, our host is looking great. He's one of us. Thank you.
She looks fabulous.
Thank you so much. He's our host for one of our gospel shows, Bishop Stephen. Thank you for tuning in. Kwekusoni says, live from Ghana with love.
Yes. Hi, Ghana. Love it.
Arajua says, you ladies are looking gorgeous. She's one of our hosts as well. Genesis Brand said, great topic.
It is.
Great set. We're just getting good
Needed
comments.
conversation.
To the world. Someone said, wow, I really admire the lady with the white top. I like her looks, her style.
Yeah.
I'm in South Africa. Where are we getting all these viewers from? There are loads. He said that. Oh, okay. He said there are. He said you look South African. He said there are loads of pretty ladies with the same hair looks.
Absolutely.
Linda Appear
Love
said,
from
well
South
done,
Africa.
ladies. She's one of our hosts.
That's okay.
Someone said, great watch. Eva, I love your hairstyle. Thank you so much. There's more. I know there's more comments. For some reason, I can't see them. But just to let you know that people are tuning in.
Oh, that's so
and
great.
thank you for coming on to share your story.
This is amazing.
Yes.
I love that.
So we've got more to go. So back to you, Shan. Despite all your hair challenges, and your hair loss, and everything that's gone on, you've been able to become a bit of a reality TV show. You spoke about. No, you are. Shh. Okay, so you spoke about being on the show, Rihanna's show before. Now you're on the big flower fight. How did that happen?
Yeah, and you know what it is?
And it's such, it brings out a different side to you. I didn't meet you like this.
Oh, how do you think you met me? Was that more reserved?
Yeah. But I think this reality show has brought out a different side to
this
you.
one.
So yeah, so this is you and Raymond, and you're on.
I don't think I've ever never been reserved. I think that was the last thing that
Well, you
anybody...
was reserved then.
No, you know what it is? I was bald.
So you were quiet.
So do
Trying
you
not to
think-
attract attention.
do you think being bored made you feel like you
and
couldn't...
introverted?
Introverted you, and made you insecure?
I don't know. No, I don't think it was insecure, because you know what, I think it was my weight that was more insecure. I don't think I was more insecure with my weight. But no, because I really enjoyed, I enjoy myself being bald. And the reason why I say that is because I enjoyed doing my face, doing my lashes, because I think there is a process when you don't have hair.
Yes.
Because my eyebrows are going to be on fleek.
There's
my eyelashes are...
There's a
oh my God. My
you don't have hair, there is.
And I think when you have hair, you start to... You don't care as much.
Wild.
Huh?
Your hair's making you...
No. I think...
life.
No, I think hair always gives you life, and I think I was always been that way anyway. But I think if you watch the Netflix series, you will see that every episode that I'm in, there's a different hairstyle.
So what's the big flower fight all about, and who's Raymond?
Raymond is not my man.
I was excited for a second. I was like,
Raymond's not my man. No, so the Big Flower Fight is a Netflix series, and basically it's a competition show, a Netflix reality competition show, very similar to the Great British Bake Off.
Okay. Right.
But with flowers and horticultural. So what it is there's 10 pairs of teams, and what we do, we make giant sculptures of everything that's horticultural, from cut flowers to grasses to just everything horticultural. Raymond is my local florist, basically. So I met him because he's like one of the only black florists, and I don't know how many black florists you guys know, but he's one of the only black florists that I know that's working, and he lives near me. Well, his shop is near me. I love flowers. And so I've gone into his shop, met him, we connected, and then we decided to do the show together. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. We're on the show.
It's showing on Netflix now? Is it the first series?
It's the first series, it's the first series, and I urge everybody to go and look at it. You'll see all of the creativity. Even though I am not a florist, I am a designer, but it has everything to do with design, floristry, creativity, arts, and it was actually one of the best experiences of my life. So this was this episode. I love this episode. The reason why I love this episode, because this is like how my hair was growing after the hair transplant. It's beautiful, you know. And so all of the episodes, I was like, I'm going to do a wig this time, I'm going to do plaits this time, I'm going to do this. So this was the one where I said I'm going to do my own hair, and girl, it was like, oh my God.
So is it just a one-off series?
No, well, we don't know if it's going to be commissioned for the second series, and obviously due to COVID and social distancing, you know, it's not going to be happening right now. But it was absolutely an amazing show. I kind of look like Elmo here. I love it.
So ladies, what advice would you, especially you, Christala, what advice would you give to someone who's suffering in silence now about their hair loss? Like, they haven't told anyone. They suspect that they're losing their hair. You know.
I think my best advice would be to take a look at what you're consuming, and when I say consuming, I mean like what you're seeing on the day-to-day. What are you seeing on your Instagram? Who are you following? What is coming up continuously on your feed? And if you're following these, you know, beauty bloggers with this completely unattainable standard of beauty, unfollow them very quickly. No, because it's damaging. It is really damaging when you can't reach those standards of beauty and you're losing your hair. It's even more detrimental to your mental health. I just think like if you are losing your hair, go and search #alopecia, and you will find an array of women and men who are also losing their hair or have lost their hair and are doing amazing things. The alopecia community on social media platforms is amazing. Like, the support is incredible. And like, even if any of my followers, you know, are, you know, kind of in the new beginnings of their journey, I always encourage them to message me, like, hit me up. I promise you there's no message that I will ignore, unless it's weird. But there's no message that you can say to me, oh Chris, what about this? How would you do this? Or what wig do I want if I want to do this? What if I want this style? What would you recommend? Or you know, just shaving tips and stuff like that. Like, I'm happy to have the conversation because I've been there and it wasn't easy, and I didn't have this person who could just reach out to.
You are that person that.
And what are the signs? Because you can lose your hair, it grows again. But what's this like? What are the visual signs that it's not coming back?
I
smoothness.
That's smooth.
You know, that smoothness. But you're like, oh my God, it's so smooth. Oh my God. It's still right here. I think.
No, because when do you know it's not coming back?
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, so
this is not
this is not healthcare.
From your own experience.
From my experience personally, I've noticed that if, like, this was years ago when I was even considering that my hair might come back. If you can tug a little bit of the hair follicle that's coming through, if it comes out straight away, it's not there to stay. So, but I'm not a doctor, so please don't quote me. But for me, it was just a case of like the patches got bigger and bigger, the patches got larger and larger, and they started to come out more frequently, and you know, in different places that they never came out before. And for me, that was the point where I was just like, okay, like, this is the time I need to work on my self-acceptance and reflect inwardly, because it's probably something that's here to stay for the long term.
And with you, Shan, what advice would you give to someone who's like yourself, that has, you know, self-inflicted their hair loss?
Find a hobby.
and they're just not like, they don't want to go bald. They want to have a transplant, or they want treatment, or they want, you know, they.
So, you know, so transplant is probably the last thing that you did. What I haven't actually told you is that I went to Belgravia Hair Clinic and did minoxidil. So did you do this as well?
I did, and they took all my money. Please don't do it to yourself.
No. Okay. I mean, okay. So I had a different experience, because I still think that Belgravia Hair Clinic for me and what I was going through was very beneficial, because you look at minoxidil and you look at like Rogaine and those things. Those are 5% minoxidil. When you go to Belgravia hair, they're giving you 20%. They're giving you 20%.
What is that?
20% minoxidil.
What is that?
What's that? A cream? Minoxidil.
Yes.
So minoxidil is it's a hair growth. It's a hair growth. It's like biotin, but it's very strong. Yeah, and so they use it in a cream, and you rub it on your hair, and it's like
stimulate.
It stimulates growth. And to be honest with you, I did it for 3 months, and I had growth. But what they did say to me is that you're going to have growth. However, there are going to be areas that are not going to grow, and you are going to have to, you know, if you really do want to have like the full result, you are going to have a hair transplant. So I went to Belgravia. I did this. After Belgravia, what I should have done is like think about getting a PRP, which is what is PRP now? What's PRP? Yeah, get PRP everyone.
Somebody Google.
No, it's rich plasma. It's plasma replacement. So basically, it's taking the blood out of your arm and your blood cells and actually injecting it into your area. Well, they do these PRPs into your face, where if you want to have a youthful facelift, they do it into your face. But for me, I'd like to do it into my hair, into my scalp, to actually have the hair grow there. So I wanted to do that. But what I would say is just, you know, I'm gonna say, you know, stop manipulating the hair. Am I gonna stop doing it? Probably not. I'm probably going to go for some PRP at some point.
Don't say that.
I will.
She's going to do it.
I will. I will, and I'll document it on Chanchantalks.
I have to say though, I think there was a big difference because of your type of alopecia is tractional.
Yeah,
those of you who are dealing with alopecia areata or universalis,
it's completely
that's
different.
Different.
It's completely different.
And you can't.
There isn't any. I mean, you can't tractional alopecia. If you stop manipulating it, no, I don't at all.
But with your condition,
I went to Belgravia as well, and I had a totally opposite experience. I literally, there was, it was. Like I said, the exclamation hairs, which will pull straight out, if they're even remotely touched, and it didn't do anything.
But can someone like you can she have a hair transplant? And will it work?
You know what?
I highly doubt it.
I'm not saying. I'm just asking.
What's really interesting is because I've had a girl that is on my Instagram, and she has areata,
right?
And she has had a hair transplant, and it's growing.
Every individual is different.
Yeah,
you never know. You literally never know. It possibly could, but yeah, I'm so scared.
It's
scared.
not enough. Trust me,
It's not for everyone.
It doesn't feel nice.
I couldn't.
So in terms of was it worth the pain?
Yeah.
And the recovery, because even though we've been laughing,
yes,
your recovery
I would do it again today.
You would.
If I had enough hair in the back of my head, I'd be like, yeah, add. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Shan, you're crazy.
But you know what it is? I also think that when somebody goes through plastic surgery, and even it is plastic surgery. It's plastic.
Yes, it's cosmetic.
Yeah. But it's like, oh no, I'm not addicted. I think, I have a problem.
When you speak about it like that, it kind of makes sense. Because
Makes sense.
I would, and that's one of the reasons why I think I would do third, or why I would do it the fourth. As long as I find, there's not many doctors that will probably go on me again, but I bet you I can find one.
So before we wrap things up, I just wanted to talk about men that lose their hair, because
men,
yes,
they sexy.
It's so bad.
Because
old men. There's not a societal pressure for men losing their hair.
But then they can't hide. They can't hide.
I know, but it's strong. It's so strong when they just shave it down and just.
It is, but we can't take away from the fact that it is just as stressful.
Yeah,
and they go through just the same emotions that we do. And
because I know a few guys.
You don't feel like you want to rub on the genie bottle.
I do, but I personally do. That's not the conversation.
I've spoken to a few guys that have gone through depression from losing their hair, especially at a young age.
Yes, I know friends. I have friends that have lost their hair from very young age. But if you're it was in your 20s,
losing your hair as a man,
it's brutal. It's a lot of men, especially if you have universalis where you lose your eyebrows too.
Yeah,
that's not.
What one's that one?
Universalis, and it's stressful, and it's not. They should be met with the same compassion that women are, and it's not something that's
no, man.
And you
sexy, stay there.
No, I can tell them that they're sexy all day.
Yeah, they can't. No. You're right.
Being the advocate, do you have men that confide in you about that?
Oh my god, yeah, I have so many male friends.
You'd be crazy. There'd be a lot of men in my DMs about my hair transplant and where did you go. I've had not just women.
But I mean, now, as we see, men are wearing wigs. And
they are?
On their beard. It's a
I make a lot of beards.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I make beards.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, generally for the stage.
Yes.
But I've been approached to do a personal piece.
Well, ladies, I mean, I wish we could talk all night.
All night, honestly.
It's just been amazing.
Yes,
and
thank you.
Like I said, it's Alopecia Awareness Month. That's why I invited you both on. I didn't invite you both on to give health advice. I don't want anyone to think we gave any type of health advice.
Me.
It was all about. It was all about awareness.
It's too.
And actually, just our personal experiences as well. That's
and from different angles as well, because
totally different.
You with the hair transplant, as a black woman who self-inflicted her hair loss.
Thank you.
Sorry. I mean, yeah. And just to talk about the different types of alopecia as well, because you are an advocate and you know about alopecia from childhood. So, you know, you're very aware
I'm coming
of the different...
from a very, like, support side of the alopecia journey.
Whereas with Chanchan, it's more of a personal journey.
No,
even though it's a personal journey.
It's totally personal, but
no, it's a my one is a personal journey that I want to share with other women because I know it's such a taboo subject.
It is,
and for men and for women. And then I've done the hair transplant. Whether or not you want to get it done or not, you know, I'm able to give you some kind of experience or some kind of advice as to what it was like for me.
It's very rare to find a black woman
that's willing to talk about it. Yeah. Oh my God,
it's something a black woman would do in secret.
Oh no, that's why I did it twice before I came out.
and pretend like her hair.
And the thing is, I think I did. Like the first one, I was like, yeah, but look, my edges are so nice, and I think I did do that. I did all of those things. Was that pretending?
And what did your family think? Like your immediate family?
Well, you know what?
Or did you hide it?
No. I never hid it from my immediate family, and you know. I never, and actually, because they knew it was so detrimental to how I was feeling and how I felt, they never saw it as cosmetic surgery. It's like somebody, if you have really big breasts and you need to get a reduction, but then the NHS says, well, you know what, we're not doing this because it doesn't equate to whatever the So for them, it was something that was necessary for me to do. And once I did it, I realised that was important. But I think after the second and the third time, okay, you're just playing about now, Chanel. It's a bit yeah. And so honestly, I do think it was a bit like that.
And with you, like, when did you come out? Because we've spoken about your whole journey, but when did you come out?
No, it wasn't coming out. It really was
because you hid it for a long time.
I hid it from the world forever. Like it was years and years, and then I was 20. I want to say 23. I think I was, and I posted the picture on Instagram, and I just threw my phone across the room, and I was like, oh my God, it's out there now. It's out there for the world to see. Like all my friends, my family, like everyone will know now. And after that moment, I was just like, damn, like. I'm free. Like I'm actually free. I don't have to hide this anymore. Like, and that's when I started to think about. It wasn't until many years later that I actually started going out bald. It took a lot of baby steps. There wasn't this big I'm coming out and I was bopping down the street going here, there and everywhere bald. Like that wasn't the case. I went out with my sister to the shops, and then it was then I went to the Westfield or something. I took small steps. I would walk the dog in a wig. Like it was that ridiculous. So then then it went to going to a restaurant bald. Like these were big milestones for me. So it didn't happen overnight, and I want to stress that that there was no quick fix to this. It was a long gradual process. I was dealing with it for 15-16 years before I even spoke about it publicly. So there was a lot of baby steps involved, but I think that the biggest takeaway is that you have to take time with yourself. Don't rush your process. The self-acceptance will come, but you have to surround yourself with positive images of alopecia, because that if I didn't have the support network of women that I constantly saw being bald and being so fierce with it and being so beautiful and confident, then I would never have taken that step ever. Ever. It wouldn't have happened.
So what can we expect from you?
From me? Oh Lord.
To me?
Not you. I'm coming to you.
I mean, what are your plans?
So Lace by Lara, we are finishing the website. So you'll be able to book consultations with me directly. This is all going to happen at the end of October. And then you also there's a ready-made side. So you don't have to spend your thousands and thousands and invest in a really amazing handmade bespoke wig. You can... you can go to the ready-made side where it's a lot more affordable.
The fashion wig.
The fashion side, because a lot of women just want a fashion wig. They're not here for the investment of a unit, which is fine. That's amazing too. I like to wear pink hair on a Friday night too. And then after the launch of the website, I also have a project that I was working on over the summer, which comes out at the end of the month, which is with Channel 4. Yes, I'm excited. So obviously you have to follow me to find out more about the promotion of that.
And where can people find you on social media?
Social media, you can find me at Lace by Lala if you're looking for wigs, and if you just want to follow my personal journey, it's just Christala Fletcher.
Okay, amazing. And you, Shan? I mean, big flower fight, girl.
Big Netflix.
I mean, what else do you want to do?
No.
Like, what plans, or do you have any plans? Or are you just going with the flow?
There is. I mean, you know, I'm just a mum. No, honestly, you can go on Netflix and you can see
your sons
myself with Raymond. And actually, I'm still doing very many things in the floristry world.
Love it.
Which is absolutely
Love
amazing.
it.
It's actually really nice to be creative. Obviously, I have an eye noir, which I do with my best friend.
And she's wearing one of her tops today.
Oh, yes. Melanin. We didn't even get into that, you know, BLM.
Black Lives Matter.
Yes,
you started doing that a long time ago.
Well, the thing is, I Noir was actually built out of the Black Lives Matter movement, like very many years ago. 2016 we started, myself and Asamara, and it was all about women and empowering women and men about things that we wanted to wear, because we was looking at Tommy Hilfiger, we was looking at Calvin Klein, and all of these outfits and all of these garments didn't reflect the person that we was. Asamara was somebody that makes jackets and clothes for the high street, and they was never those people were never reflected of who we are. So we started and we started our brand, but you know, that's iNoir. So you can definitely find us on iNoir, INOIR on Instagram. I'm Chanchantalks, and on Chanchantalks and chanchantalks.com you will find everything to do with, you know, hair, and even like a hair follicle darkeners and things like that you put around the edges if you're a little bit scarred about them edges. I have all of those things, and it's not even something that I promote, because I really want the people that really want it just to come to me. It's not something that
you're out there.
No, it's not something that I actively promote. No, it isn't. There's the other thing as well in terms of hair wig, just to protect the edges, because that's where it starts. Yes. Because what I've noticed is that once the edges goes, it's very easy for everything else to go.
Yeah.
And that is what's really scary, because every time I've ever had a hair transplant, they don't start with... I would have much preferred them to start with the back and then come into the front. They start with the front, go into the back. And so they always leave that bit in the middle between the back and the front open. So when you still combing the hair, there's that gap. And it probably doesn't make any sense to anybody else.
It just sounds incredibly painful.
It doesn't make any... It probably doesn't make any sense to anybody else. But somebody that has actually had traction alopecia, that part where it's between the hair that's really strong and the hair that's thin, that will just continue to go. That will continue just to go. So you know, it's, you know, Chanchantalks, iNoir. There's going to be many other things that are happening. You know, you know, we walk in silence.
I love that. Guys, you've been watching Goaldiggers, and today our topic has been hair loss and success. My beautiful, lovely
Thank you for having us.
Have spoken about their individual journeys from different aspects, from, you know, hair loss that's not controlled, and not controlled. What am I talking about? Hair loss that is uncontrollable. And, you know, hair loss that is
feisty and rude,
kind of not even self-inflicted, because it's hormonal as well.
Yeah, it is. But just
you know, like it's just
it was assisted.
It's different types of hair loss, and that's the awareness that we wanted to bring today in conjunction with Alopecia Awareness Month. So thank you guys so much for bringing so much joy to the studio. Thank you for my Omega Live TV production team. Thank you to World Remit and Cosmic Cocktails for being our sponsors, and don't forget to follow us on Omega Live TV on Facebook and YouTube. You can watch this show again. Please share with your family and friends as you've been watching. gained a bit of knowledge and understanding about hair loss. And also we have a new Twitter account, so follow us on Twitter, Omega Live TV1 on Twitter. We're going to Sky soon, Sky
Woo!
Channel 7.
Yes.
Channel 7. I'm so happy. My team, I love my team. We've worked so hard.
I'm so happy.
We've worked so hard to get here, and all I can say and end the show with is never despise small beginnings. Never despise small beginnings. I'm back in 2 weeks' time. I have 2 guests in the studio, and what we're going to be talking about, because October is Black History Month.
Yeah.
And my 2 guests that are coming on have started an amazing movement and project that cannot be even it's just going to be amazing. So make sure you're here on the 5th of October. I have a male and a female in the studio. Like I said, amazing thing that they're doing from all this Black Lives Matter movement. So tune in. Thank you for watching. Follow us on Twitter.